Hey guys, Tootsie Forever here. Now, I know it's been a while, just bear with me for a little while longer, please. Work is just being a little insane, you know how it is. But today I just want to relax and take it easy and talk about something that is a staple with any fan of My Little Pony. And that is, of course, the Plushies. Now, when it comes to plushies, it really doesn't matter if you have a simple one that you found at Walmart the other day, or you spent your life savings on one that doesn't even fit on your bed. They mean something to you and I, as they hold a special place in our hearts. When I look at my plushies, I get a sense of joy and comfort mixed in with some nostalgia, as each one has a story to tell of how they came to be. So, come along with me as we take a delightful stroll through memory lane to talk about and discuss some of the My Little Pony plushies that I happen to own. Let's start this off with my OC. I've commissioned 3 different versions of him over the years. The first version was made back in 2012 after I first joined the pony fandom. Back then, plush makers were hard to come by, and finding one to make your custom pony was even more rare, as it often came with a very steep price tag. I made the mistake of gifting him to a former girlfriend, and after we broke up, she ended up donating him to a Goodwill, and I haven't seen him since. Ooh. So, if you live in the Kansas City area and you see this plush out and about, please let me know. The second one was made later in 2018. I'm pretty sure there was some miscommunication with the designer, as the coat came off a bright red, which is supposed to be a darker brown, as now it contrasts with the red stripes all over his body. Because of these color issues, part of his mane looks like a horn, and now he gives off generic OC Alicorn vibes. To top it off, his giant head makes him impossible to stand up, so he just falls over and dies, which is a real bummer. The third, and hopefully the final one, was made in 2024 by Fleece Friendship, who I was already familiar with from previous exchanges, as they had both designs of Thorax, his changeling form from when he was first introduced, and his fruity form from when he took the throne. So of course, I hit them up and they exceeded my expectations, which is no surprise there. I love the simplicity of how all their characters are made with the fleece material. The best part? They all stand upright without any support needed, no longer looking like they've just given up on life. The same can't be said about me though, I have scoliosis. Speaking of the bug creatures, that segues into some of my special plushies, as these hold some sentimental value to me. Such as this Queen Chrysalis I got as a Christmas gift from my girlfriend last year, so shout out to you, love. I was gifted this unofficial Sunset Shimmer plush from my friend who loved Equestria Girls. My friend Nickney surprised me with a similar looking Lyra plush for my birthday one year. And for a graduation present, I was treated to a filly Octavia, as she was my favorite pony before the bug boy came along and took all of my love. You get it? Because he's a changeling and they're known to steal your love and emotion? You get it? You get it? Because I get it! Twilight Sparkle has always been my favorite out of the main 6, and following close behind her is Applejack in a close second. I always felt bad for Applejack, as she always gets crapped on by the community so much. The last roundup aired in 2011. Shut the fuck up about her being a background pony while you cuddle up to a Fluttershy plush. Thankfully, when I attended Everfree Northwest one year, I bought an Applejack plush to show my love for the Apple Horse. But not just any normal Applejack plush. This plush was made by one of the very few creators whose plushies were so good that they were the first to receive a DMCA takedown from Hasbro. Why am I building this up? Someone lost their job. That sucks. Of course, I was referring to this White Dove plush of AJ. She is so soft, cute, cuddly, determined with that huggable face, hardworking, and now part of history as she's one of a kind. Literally. While on the topic of conventions, I remember going to BronyCon and seeing a vendor with tons and tons of stubby plushies surrounding their booth, and that was Cutie Corral. This was the only creator I knew that had every character from FIM, and I do mean every single character. Like, they had every pony, from the most well-known to the most obscure unnamed background pony number 5. I picked up an Octavia and Vinyl Scratch plush from BronyCon 2013, a Night Glider plush, a Shadow Bolt plush, and a Flash Century plush from MLP MSP 2014. I can't forget about Princess Alicorn Dorpy plush and Soren plush, who were both donated by you, the fans, so thank you for that. And last, I picked up this Gilda plush on eBay not too long ago, but we'll get back to her soon. Up next is Dorpy. Well, I can't call her that, as this is a bootleg plush after all, so let's just call her Dorpy. I obtained Dorpy from my friend Little Shy during a BronyCon exchange, as it was a cheaper alternative than commissioning, and I really wanted a Dorpy, but instead I got Dorpy. Honestly, she's not that bad for a knockoff. Speaking of the disabled, next we have is Snowdrop from the animation Snowdrop, made by Silly Philly Studios, which is about a child being bullied for 12 minutes because she can't make a snowflake. Oh, and she's also blind. Everyone is so cruel and negative to this poor little filly. All you want to do is reach into your computer screen and protect her at all costs. The creators must have seen these complaints, as they produced an official plush of the Snowdrop character, which was only available for a limited time. It's like when I was hunting for the pony Build-A-Bears, as I still remember walking into my mall fully decked out in my finest brony gear, standing there while the employees and parents watch me like a hawk as I'm getting my Pinkie Pie stuffed. Truly a dignifying moment for me. Eventually, I had to part ways with most of them, donating a good chunk of my collection to a local children's hospital. Those kids better appreciate the generosity, because one of them was a special online-only Zecora plush. Twilight was the only one I kept all these years later, as she is my favorite, but as you can tell by her mane, she's not in the greatest condition, even though she just sits on a shelf for the rest of her life. Maybe you want something with just a little bit more quality, then I suggest checking out Symbiote Studios, as they have absolutely been knocking it out of the park with their officially licensed plushes of our friends from Equestria. The quality is top-notch for the price you pay, and they host community polls so you have a say on who should be brought over next. I couldn't resist grabbing the main six, and naturally Dorpy was a no-brainer. Now, every time I hit the road for work, I switch between each of them to keep me company, because, let's be honest, long travels are much more doable when you have a My Little Pony right beside you. Now, let's talk about the big girls, starting out with Princess Twilight Sparkle. As I mentioned before, she is best main six and is also best princess, as she actually does something. She's the biggest plush I own, standing at 40 inches high and weighs the amount of a small toddler. She really needs to cut back on the hay burgers, that's for sure. With the help of a friend, I managed to snag her from an online auction for less than $200. That's a huge steal compared to nowadays, as some plushies of this size are fetching for the price of a used car. Now, don't think I forgot about you Generation 5 fans, as we have the two royal sisters, Pip and Zip. These two were obtained from conventions, so I had to pay the upscale price, which I don't mind, as they came with the convention memories, and those are always nice to have. It also doesn't hurt that I get to sleep with royalty every night. Apologies to my girlfriend, but the two sisters stay on the bed. You can have the guest bedroom, though. Now, it's time for the final three, as these are my most cherished possessions in the whole collection. Starting with the Gilda plush, who I obtained from BronyCon 2015, almost 10 years ago. It is covered all around in soft minky fabric and uses real hand-picked, carefully placed turkey feathers to make up its wings, which are flexible like its tail, so you can pose her however you like. However, I don't recommend that, considering with all that extra detail, I don't think you would ever want to touch her, as she did come with a very hefty price tag. So she overlooks my collection with pride. Now if only I could get the cats to leave her alone. Now, if you saw my Finding Pony video, which you should totally go watch after this one by the way, you know the crazy scavenger hunt I went through to get this bird boy made. For a quick rundown, most of the artists either charged enough to make my wallet cry, or I was on a waitlist so long that I'd be dead by the time they even thought of me. I was like, buck that, and found Little Broy Peep, who is the artist that not only put this bluebird boy together, but also this graybird girl as well. I was so impressed with the quality of their work on the Gallus plush that I instantly commissioned them for a second time for a Gabby the Griffin plush. I was even more impressed with that one, so I commissioned them for a third time, this one of Spike with his wings from Season 8. And the best part? I got them all within 4 months of each other! I definitely have a thing for griffins, which is weird because I never really cared for them until I got into My Little Pony. I guess I just liked how they were portrayed in the show. Now, we're going to do a quick little speed run of some of the other stuffed characters I have that are not related to Friendship is Magic. Out of the Pokemon series, my two favorite have always been Eevee and Pikachu, so I have multiple big and small plushies of them. My favorite ones are from the release of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX for the Nintendo Switch, as they only sold a small number of plushies that had little scarves embroidered onto them. Other characters I got are Sonic and Tails from the Sonic series, a limited edition Lucky from Super Lucky's Tale, and a cute elephant plush from Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I also have a very unhealthy obsession with the character Yoshi from Super Mario, as I have multiple colors and I can't help myself from buying him every time I see him out in public. And just recently, my friend got me into the show Bluey, so of course I had to pick up a Bluey and Bingo plush to keep me sane in my everyday life. Well, that was my plush collection. Thank you all so much for listening to me ramble about these stuffed animals. In fact, I think I've rambled a little bit too much about these plushies, but hey, every plush has a story to tell, and I like discussing it. I don't plan on stopping this plush addiction anytime soon, and as always, I'm Tootsie Forever, and thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Hey, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, then check out these other 2 videos that are on screen, and maybe consider subscribing if you would like. I try my best to make these videos whenever I can. But seriously, thank you.